it, it the good thing is I notice when I put the videos out, when I put YouTube's out, we get like we probably have about 20 watch hours each video, so I know people are watching them after I post them. So I always
Oh,
make sure that everybody gets access to them so they can watch them if they can't make it for some reason. But
right.
I'm in contact with everybody. I'll have a lot more time too once Reindeer's up because everything will be almost automated. People have the videos to watch. They can go get all their information, their downloads, and the videos will teach them how to do stuff. The problem now is that in the past I've had people who are doing maybe they're doing flips or something, and I do cover like an analyzer that maybe a short-term rental something they're not doing. I kind of realized I don't want to have like it's really hard when we have this much we have a broad range of assets, different classes and stuff, and that's kind of does kind of you remember what I used to do like analyzers and calculators all the time, but some people wouldn't get very much out of them if they're not using that. So it's hard. So it's pretty different. I don't know. We'll figure it out. You're working with Zeke on that one deal still, or
No, I didn't even go any further on that one. It's Franklin Avenue, which is, I mean, it's
well,
no,
he's actually signing on now. Yeah. So it's over in yeah. You guys said that because I thought it was Orchard Mesa, so it's actually in Grand Junction.
yeah, and it's not bad, but it's real small. Those ones are super, super small, so the rents aren't going to be that great.
Cool. Hey Zeke, what's going on?
Hey, Nick.
Cool. Let me get to Sheena real quick. I'll get to Zeke and then I'll open it up. Sheena, what's going on with your? I know you got a couple things going on, a couple different properties.
Nothing. Still submitting to the multifamily properties
Okay.
and
Your
still
property,
introducing myself to the members.
yeah. There's a lot of good people that need to. Yeah, definitely. And then it'll be a lot easier too, because what we're gonna do too, once Reindeer's up, we're gonna do like an introduction video. I'm gonna encourage people to do their own. Just hey, throw something on Zoom or somewhere. There'll be some formats like some video types people it doesn't support. So I got to make sure people can, or if that's the case, then I'll just do a Zoom or something with somebody one on one and let them introduce. Because I'd like to have 120, 150, 200 people introduce themselves and say what they're doing, what they're at, what they're looking for, in that way. Because we do have a lot of people that don't come on all the Zooms, but those analyzers that I sent you should help. And like I said, if we need more, I can get them. I can get you any. I can kind of help people. That's open to anybody. We have files, but keep in mind that a lot of that stuff is how I saved it. So it's easy for me. Sometimes even I have to go back and look just to make sure I'm giving you the right ones. Because we do have a syndication multifamily analyzer, but it's really in depth. It goes a lot further, with the distributions and when you got investors.
I understand. Yeah, I'll look through them later on today and tomorrow.
Okay.
Is how that goes. I just did a sample report as well. I think it was a fix and flip. I think you had sent me the link or the post. I clicked on it and put it in there just to see what it does.
Oh, and that's built by Jason. That's his Jason, and I forgot how to pronounce it. Taking or talking. Jason's actually in our group. He's the lender. He's really good. He created that. So he just posted it and gave me, to go ahead and give it to everybody because just one more tool and people can use that way people can use what they feel comfortable with. And if we have so many different things that people can download. I try to make sure people have, I think we try to have more than what people need because, some people are very they only need a couple or they might need one. But we have a lot of other stuff. We have like stuff for people helping people calculate net worth and assets and different stuff that's their whole business, not just what their specific asset is. So try to make sure we have a lot of resources. We have a tracker which helps you with leads. It's kind of like contacts, and it tracks everything for 4 months. We got so much stuff that it's like it's ridiculous, and I can't put everything. I'm not putting everything new on everything that I have in there right now because I'm gonna have to do it again in like a month. Putting in the new making videos for it and stuff. So it's kind of a cool thing, but yeah. So yeah, hopefully they work for you. That'll be good. I'll update everybody on reindeer and all that stuff after we go around a little bit. Zeke, what's going on? How are you?
Good.
Cool.
Not much going here.
Yeah, I figured of Wyoming. I've been still looking, trying to find something up there myself. I think it sucks because I think it's a great state. I mean, I don't know why there's not a lot of inventory,
Yeah.
but I don't know. There seems to be a lot of retail. Yeah, I mean, I was looking at some websites and stuff come up, and I'm like, oh, it's retail. So yeah, so I think I don't know. Try to figure it out. Try to see if we can still plug away. Any more? You got any more EMD going on?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay, yeah, because Gwen also just got her phone back on Friday. Got
Yeah.
her new phone, so she's back in the office today. And she's having to catch up because I know I sent her like 10 people, and I was like, oh, well, she's not getting back to me. But no, and so when she told me, it's like, that's another thing I'm gonna try to eventually get. I'm gonna probably by the end of the year, I'm gonna have an answering service or whatever, because it's gonna be like I have to have a support line, like Danny has one for Agents Gather, so I'll have a support line for for Ranger, so people can leave messages and stuff on stuff. Probably want to answer direct, but
I sent in my application to her today.
oh, okay. For Ranger.
Doing the EMD.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, yeah. You told me you were doing that on Thursday.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, she's cool. And then what you also called me about the other day is also taken care of.
Okay.
So we're all good on that. That's not going to happen. I
Cool.
appreciate that feedback because, yeah, trying to just, unfortunately, sometimes it's, you don't know. I mean, I just kind of, when I look at people's profiles, I try to, if I don't know them, I try to look at them. And if I see somebody that doesn't look like they have very much real estate or it's just like, we're fortunate. We haven't had, I mean, but also we're private. There's a lot of groups where people could just answer a question and get right in. And I think some of these groups, like I was on three today, one has like 70,000 people in it, and it's like private money lenders or whatever, private lenders directory. And it's like, I swear to God, it's like maybe I scrolled down, out of about 100 posts, I saw maybe three people that might be legitimate. So that's kind of when I started doing this, like maybe 5 or 6 years ago. In the first out of about after I broker for about 2 years, that's when I started going, I got to do something else because I was starting to run into it myself just on buyers, like trying to broker, like having it because on a broker, it's like it's all on my dime until I get the commission. So it's like I couldn't afford to waste time with people who couldn't buy or wouldn't follow through. Following through happens a lot, even legitimate people, just because they're shopping or something like that. But obviously, having a situation like that, we're trying to make sure I want to have a group where everybody deals with each other. And, I keep saying my goal is to have this many subscribers, but we're also not going to just take everybody and everybody. A lot of people before they start lending or they start doing really much of anything will have to go through a little bit of orientation, a little bit of a video, orientation videos. And then, oh, I did want to throw in too also, and this is for everybody that's on the videos too, is a lot of the modules and stuff, the areas. I don't know if we'll be able to break it down to the module specific, like the 5 to 10 minute one, but ideally like different subjects will have quizzes at the end. If they're optional, people don't have to do it because I know some people won't want to do it. But if people want to do it, they can actually take a quiz and then get a certificate. So they could go into creative financing, go through Solidarius, subject to like 5 or 6 different areas of creative financing and then take a quiz and then get a certificate, which would be kind I don't know really what, is it more for, I don't know, like motivation or something. I don't know if like lenders or something would create it. I think in our group it might be, as the group gets bigger and stuff, say when people have gone through the orientation and they've gone through a few of the areas that have certificates, that might be a little bit more standing or something. So I'm just trying to create a few things like that. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, hey, Matt Moreland's here. Matt, what's going on? Matt, how is Santa Barbara? You guys know Matt took a class in for government contracting. Pretty cool class, it sounds like. So there's some areas, guys, if you're interested. We're looking into it. I've got to go. I used to have access to that stuff, and I'm going to go back and see if I can restart my account because it's like fedbizops.gov or something like that. There's a lot of opportunities sometimes to do real estate deals with the government, particularly the military and stuff like that, and HUD. And I think, obviously some if they have housing and stuff like that. Obviously, the military is always in need of off-base housing. So we'll kind of look into that in the future. I'm just mentioning it right now because he just completed that class. Matt, are you, cool.
Hey,
Hey,
how's it going? How's it
pretty
going,
good.
everybody?
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
So you're all done with that now, aren't you?
yeah, I completed the course and got my certificate. And now it's just, basically what I finished creating like a compliance checklist
Yeah.
for the contract, and I'm still, working with that. I'm on my second draft and just going after contracts now.
Yeah. Just keep in mind, I mean, like when you asked me that, when you sent me that message the other night or whatever, whenever it was, um, I don't remember that sections as well. I don't remember much. I mean, if I went back and looked at some of the bids and stuff that are available, it would refresh my memory a lot. And then of course every agency is different. That's another thing I learned. Like the DoD was different than DOJ because I remember there were some things where like courthouse roofs because I was doing restoration at the time. When I wasn't doing security, my first experience was obviously with the security for Iraq, but in the DoD. But later on, we dealt with like DOJ because they were actually bidding out some roofs and stuff and some work on courthouses, which was pretty fascinating. I actually bid. We actually saw one. This wasn't federal, but I'm sure Bureau of Prisons one. I remember seeing a state bid where we're bidding on to do a roofs on prisons in Colorado, and literally you cannot use any. You have to have everybody. Like they have to background check every one of the people because they're having access to a prison. It's pretty fascinating going through. I got like 50 guys. I got it's hard to use a subcontractor in that situation unless you can hand them all the files. They actually do the files themselves. They actually have an investigator move. They would have an investigator meet with all your people before they give them passes to get through the prison gates.
Yeah, from what I've read, if it's a high enough contract where, like the dollar amount is high enough, you have to do those certain checks. And if the solicitation specifically says you have to do background checks, like active background checks on everybody, then like you said, you have to do it. And yeah, and if we wanted to team with people as far as like real estate goes, certain leases for government buildings or for buildings for government use, they'll have you either be the leaser or uh, own the property, and then if you purchase it that way, then they'll have some type of reimbursement system, and then you'll also have to do renovations for them to it will be commercial ready for them to operate. And I believe that sounds like you'll have to have upfront money for that, and then you'll start
You
the project and
you get
complete it.
reimbursed. Yeah,
And
there's some
yes,
situations where they might do an upfront. Well, there used to be. I don't know if there are now. They've put a lot of restrictions there. I actually saw an American Greed one time where it was like some ladies, they were two old ladies. I mean, they're like church ladies. Like I was really surprised, but they went and they sold the army or somebody. They sold the army bolts and nuts, and they jacked the price up so much. And the thing about it is at the time, a lot of the military stuff is automated. So once they put the bid in there, it tells you how much they're bidding out or whatever. And when the shipment comes in, it gets checked in, then it would just get billed out. Well, nobody checked after it was awarded that they were delivering what they were supposed to do. And they were just buying stuff in bulk at like it wasn't like Home Depot, but it was like, getting bolts and nuts and washers and all kinds of like hardware uh bulk, and they were just selling it to the army and it was all junk. And it was like weird. And they donated money. They kept very little for themselves. They had a nice house or whatever. Two old ladies or church ladies, they're like in their 70s, and they had a nice car each. But they were donating money to their church and the schools in the little small town in like South Carolina or something. And they ended up. I mean, the government went after all that money. They went after the church and everything to get the money back. It was pretty amazing. Obviously DOD had like war dogs and all that stuff happen. There's a lot of, I mean, you guys, I mean, not to get political, but have you guys seen that thing where I guess Trump said if he wins, he's going to have Elon Musk audit the government and head up a committee. And Elon was posting out that he thinks there's somewhere between 250 and 500 billion a year that's just waste or fraud from the government. So, because he was comparing that like a new aircraft carrier costs $13 billion, you could almost buy a new Navy every year with just the fraud that goes on in the waste in the government. So I don't know, I'm sure they probably talked about that a little bit.
As comp, like they speak about it in terms of like you
don't do
don't,
this, don't do this.
yeah, don't do this, yeah, don't be the one to have an over profit. So, or they say like if you create your direct and indirect costs, correctly, and you have everything for your supplies, and then you put as your profit like $1 million extra, but you account for all the supplies, and you're the only person bidding, and they're okay with that. It's in with the budget. They will award you that, but everything has to be in order. And if they award it to you, nowadays, there's a high chance where it wasn't in fault and you were awarded that 1 million, but you have to make sure everything is in order if you want that much.
Yeah, and see where I screwed up on my bid and I didn't get it. Thank God, because I've later on. So they were requiring, like I said, it was a logistics facility next to the Abu Ghraib prison, which is where all the war crimes. They sent those letters. Unfortunately, I think they were like they're like privates or whatever, E4s, E5s, like junior level guys, and they were like, I think a couple of people like a colonel got demoted or something like that. But they were there's only the ones who went to prison, military prison, were like junior and like very junior enlisted, like private first class, but they were enamored with the CIA guys that were coming in and doing all the interrogations, and they were like, obviously they're like looking up at those guys like heroes or they're CIA or whatever, not realizing the CIA guys are operated at a different set of rules. But they had this logistics to my story. I was bidding on doing the security contract at the facility next to it. And it was like all the logistics, all the stuff, all the supplies go out to Ramadi and Fallujah. It's on the road to go into Syria and Jordan and stuff. And so they wanted a bid. They wanted you to basically provide security, but you had to, at some point, have to start reducing Western, personnel, like meaning you don't have very many Americans, Canadians, British, those kind of, people, because they're super expensive. You got to start. At some point, they wanted you to get all Iraqi indigenous personnel, and I'm like, at that point, I can't trust enough Iraqis at that point to. So I missed that bid by like $1 million. If I bid 86 million, I would have got it, but that company it turned into a big shit show for the the company that won it. Like a year later, I was like, oh my god, they got into some. No, they went into the same thing. They went and tried to get. They went on the cheap and tried to get like Western, Iraqi and stuff. I was gonna phase down. I was gonna then go to Malaysian because I'd been over in Iraq when I worked for like a year before. I worked for GRS and like the Malaysians and stuff, Filipino. They have a lot of guys that are special forces. I mean, really hardcore guys. For Iraq, Republic of Korea, all that. Who don't get paid enough like our guys and the Brits and Australians and So I was gonna go like 3 months, and then I was gonna another 3 months. I was gonna start reducing and hiring locally, but you couldn't do that at that time. It was when that surge was happening, and it was just getting really, the terrorists were there in force. I went to Iraq in 2000, right? Like the week after we took Baghdad as a security contractor the first time, and they loved us then. It was like so easy because the military had total control of the country at that point. But about a year later, all the foreign terrorists showed up. So anyway, getting back to real estate, got a lot of good stuff going on. So let me go back real quick. So you guys, like I said, we got those. I sent it out to a few people. I know Sheena got a couple of them. I sent them also to Marjorie and to a few other people. But if you guys need specific, you know, um, for your asset classes, analyzers, and calculators, if you're having any issues with the files, let me know because I can send you what you need specifically. That's to anybody. So if you need flips or something like that, because I do realize a lot of people go in there and they're like, first of all, they have, I haven't taken a lot of time to go through and clean up the ones at the bottom of the list. If you scroll down, they're older. If they're older and there's a duplicate, the older ones are not. I wouldn't use those. Use the first one you get because that's the most recent. So I've kind of done I probably got 25 or 30 I got to delete, but I got another 50 that I got to add, and I won't add those until Reindeer's up in a couple of weeks. So getting to that, guys, Reindeer will be, like I said, the week of the 23rd this month. So it is this month between the 23rd and the 1st. We'll have it open and we'll have a migration process. So everybody that doesn't have Agents Gather needs to get Agents Gather. Like I said, it's free. And then let me or Danny know, he'll upgrade you. And then once you're on Agents Gather, we're actually going to have the link open to Reindeer once it's up. and then you can migrate and join. We'll give everybody in the group through the end of the year to actually migrate. So that'll be good. And then starting in October, we'll have subscriptions go live. So remember on revenue share, guys, revenue sharing kicks in at 100 subscriptions. And so at first, like I said, we're taking $30 per month per prescription out of the 99, and I'll go in the pool of 125 people. So at first it's, 100 subscriptions, 3 grand, not really exciting. It's $24, but keep in mind that if, once we get to 500, 1,000, it starts getting up to like 120, 240. I think at 1,000 is $240 a month. So that's one real good thing to do that when we hit the 125. There's a lot of people in the group, spouses and stuff are in that, so that it seems like we have a higher number. There's about there's about 11 people that have are everybody that came in $100 is eligible for an upgrade. They had till December to decide on what they want to do, but we're offering those 5 less spots to now has kind of like an incentive, but also reward. And then we do have some people that may not do it, they just don't are interested or whatever, and that's fine too. So at that point, we'll offer it first, like I just said in my post about an hour and a half ago. We'll offer those to people in the group probably in November, December, once we have everybody up. Because there's some people that we only have like 20 something people on Agents Gather, so I'm assuming we'll have some people that don't want to participate, which is fine. It's up to them. They paid for the group, and the Facebook group will always be open. It'll be active. We're not going to go anywhere else as far as Facebook goes. I mean, we're still going to do all the Zooms and stuff here. So it's just be a lot cleaner, a lot more videos, a lot more where you can go over and study other asset classes and stuff. The other thing I'm going to do too is, like I said, we have the lifetime. So all those people who don't do revenue sharing, if they want to still get lifetime, they can. We'll have some people with lifetime, and then we'll reopen that, but it'll be $9.99, so $1 under 1,000. Those are brand new people that aren't with us yet. We got to, I'm sure some people will like that, because obviously that's like getting an annual. If you pay $99 times 12, what does it come to? And then it's like a little bit of a discount if you take like the annual. And then if somebody recruits somebody, there'll be a referral code, so referred by. If you refer somebody, we'll pay $400. So I'll pay you $400 if you refer anybody to that point. That won't be in place till probably end of the year, first part of next year, just to tell you guys what's going on there. So that's kind of a cool thing. We always want to make sure you guys get you know, share in the revenue. Like I said, my goal is 10,000 monthly subscribers, but we're also not going to go if I had 10,000 people the first month. I wouldn't take that many. But we want to definitely slow roll it. And then you guys know, also to clear up, and we'll get back to your real estate and your deals in a second. I just want to kind of emphasize this because I know we got 2 or 3 people coming in in about 10 minutes, and then we'll have Chad and a few other guys. The other thing is on, what's I gonna say real quick? Oh, so the phases. You guys know you guys are good to go, but just to clear it up in case anybody asks you who's outside of the group. So obviously $99 a month is the first is phase 1. If somebody joins at $99, they're in for $99 a month for life unless they quit. Phase 2 though we'll raise it to 149, then 199. For phase 3, 249, then 299. So those people that join under that raise will be paying that price for life. So they won't be paying 104. It won't be like they get a price range, which again you guys don't have to worry about ever. But just to kind of clear that up, and then the reason is we're doing phase 2. We're going to start compensating guides. So those of you that want to have communities and guides, you'll get a little compensation. That $50 an extra a month will help go to that. Just like you guys are all getting in revenue sharing, it's a 30. We'll put about $25 or $30 a month into that, and then the next phase 3, that'll go to lawyers and attorneys to do the legal center. So there will be a legal center, and then that'll have a place where you can go get like a lawyer can. They'll mostly do videos like instruction, like how to do this. Like they won't be consulting and all, because obviously I don't want to put like 10 lawyers. That'd be really expensive, and I don't know if I can. I would like to do that, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we have all the forms. They go through the forms, and they're available to update and keep up, and making sure that you guys have all the forms and all the states that you need. Because you guys know Texas track is different than like California or Florida. As far as some of the requirements and some of the forms. So a lot of the purchase and sale agreements, and I'm leaving them all in Facebook and files, but I'm not going to be putting a lot of legal forms at first. I'm going to basically put those in time for phase 3 so the lawyers can actually go through some of them. just to make sure you guys are all good. But in Facebook, you guys can download them and use them for educational purposes. Like I said, I'm just looking out for you guys, but not, making sure that legal counsel has, I mean, everything's been lawyered up already. I feel good. It's really, what it really is to make Danny feel better because he's kind of like his lawyer's like, oh, I need to make sure all these forms and stuff are good, because we don't want anybody to, download something they shouldn't use. So there's going to be a lot of videos and clarifications on stuff. Mostly at first, you'll see the analyzers, the calculators, scope of work. You'll see the checklist, cheat sheets, that kind of stuff. Databases will be available because guys know I also pulled out the family office and hedge fund databases. You guys remember those are there. 7 of them actually times 2 because they're in Excel and CSVs. A lot of people can't use them or don't use them because you don't want to hit up an endowment fund. You don't want to call MIT's endowment fund and ask for 20 grand for a rehab because it's probably not, it's like, going to you don't want to go to hedge fund and ask for 10 grand. Those guys are like, those guys will spend that on lunch sometimes. So we just want to make sure, and it's anybody that wants to use them. If you want to use them, fine, that's cool. Let me know, and I'll give you guys. They're yours, so you have full access to them. I just made sure they're in a separate Facebook group, so we can kind of explain how to use those in a much more efficient way. They're better if people are raising capital, starting funds. Matt can tell you, we were back, 4 or 5 years ago. We were working on a fund as well as Private Money University, and as well as Blue Sky. We're in that big building together in Denver, which would be in year 3 of construction right now. It was going to take 5 years to build it. It doesn't happen fast when you're building a building was going to be taller than the World Trade Center. It doesn't go up quick. And I was never going to go up when it was under construction more than, I'm like, I was thinking about what it was going to be like to be up 100 tons. So you guys, I don't know, I'll digress for a second. So my aunt and uncle, actually, my uncle worked for Frontier back then, and they were actually in New York, and they were supposed to take the tour at 8 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning on 9/11. So they would have been in the building. They would have been they would have been killed. Their tour got moved up to the day before. So they have pictures of the building and it says 9/10/01. And my grandpa, before he passed away, he made big, like, poster sized pictures everybody had in their house. Like my aunt and uncle's tour got moved up by a day. Just telling you guys, because 9/11's on Wednesday. And I just want to make sure, that was kind of interesting how, I almost lost them. My uncle worked in Frontier, so he had to stay like 2 weeks later. They put him up in a hotel to help he worked in avionics programming. So he was spent 2 weeks, like, trying to get all the airplanes back up. It was kind of interesting, but they were there in Manhattan. They were staying in a hotel in Manhattan on 9/11. They had to evacuate and all that. So it's kind of interesting how that, so many people have 9/11 stories. I had to open emergency operations center when I was a fire chief, just because we had to manage all in case, whatever was going on. So let's get back to real estate. I think Chad should be here in a few minutes. I know he had an interesting deal he posted a little while ago, and I got a clarification out of him. I'm trying to prioritize to get a lot of people here who don't normally come because there's some people you guys probably have never seen Chad. I think he's been on one time like 6 months ago when he joined. He's got a pretty cool deal. I just had to clarify it because it looked like there wasn't that much spread, as far as the ARV and stuff like that. But he explained it to me and it makes sense now. So a lot of times people need to just kind of know how to present things. But let's go. I'll go back around real quick while we're waiting for him. Let's go back to Sheena real quick. Hey, Sheena, what state is that you're working on that multifamily?
North Carolina.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, all of mine is in North Carolina.
Okay, I figured that's real. Or I just had to make sure because some people like have multiple states, which is kind of cool. It's kind of weird how people do that, but a lot of people are good at it. Some people get nervous about that. So, it's multifamily. What's the size of those that you're looking at?
No more than 65 units. So the 2 that we currently have offers on is an 18 unit and a 26 unit.
Okay.
That one right there was a portfolio. So we really looked at different options out of their portfolio. I think it was 326 or 325 units.
Okay.
And we picked most of the ones that had 2 bedrooms because they did have some units that had only 1 bedrooms. So we picked majority of the properties that had 2 bedrooms only.
Oh, is that you're able to do that on that deal? Because that seems like that's cool.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
cool.
And it's up to the seller if they choose to sell it as a package or if they choose to sell it as separate.
Okay. That's cool because a lot of times it's like you get stuck with them and you don't have a choice. So that's cool
Yeah.
that you have a choice. I mean, that's a lot better. I'm trying to think off the top of my head of other people that can help you in the group. Like I said, there's a bunch of other people. I know I've given you a few names before, but there's a few people that are really good on doing like multifamily stuff. Ari would be a good one to talk to. A few other
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. If you remember, just put it in the chat message to me.
Yeah, but I mean, or I'll send it on Messenger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I
easy.
meant. Sorry.
Yeah, and I can connect you on there. That way you get direct. Because well, that's usually for me. That way, when both parties talk, I know you guys are connected, and then I can kind of back out of the conversation. Because otherwise, I'm like my phone's going ding 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 all day, and it's like there's sometimes I just and I, yeah, it's like obviously today I was busy. I think I sent you like 20 something today,
Yeah.
but
But I got them all though.
yeah. So make sure, yeah, it's like, I try to make sure it's like, yeah, it's because it's also hard. I'm telling everybody, sometimes it gets hard now. I tried to do that invitation thing. Oh, I need to give you Ari's number, Bill. Let me make sure, and I'll give you his connection tonight, and then you can get it from him directly. I think because he has a different cell phone number than I have. Because I've been with him like 5 years. So he always changed his number. But I'll get that to you. So sometimes when I have to tell everybody, it's kind of interesting how because like I send out. So you guys know, like a couple weeks ago on a Friday night, I got like I couldn't use Messenger for 24 hours. Facebook's like you're sending too many messages. And I'm like, you can do that. I mean, you can actually send too many messages. So I try to send everybody an invitation. I don't know if you guys are getting the invitations, then that's great. If people aren't getting invitations, because like tomorrow, like I'll send out Thursdays tomorrow morning. It'll be like an invitation and events. So I put these in events. There's an events tab, just like files and guides, and they're all is in there. And generally the Mondays don't change to the Thursdays, right? Because I usually will do this in Zoom. I will go ahead and say do it the next 7 Mondays. And so sometimes, when they get to the end of that 7, they, I don't, but it's something, I forget to do it or something, update them. I just suggested the Thursdays, put in there the next 7 Thursdays. So you can use the Mondays and Thursdays. Like I said, that usually doesn't happen when they start getting close to the end. They've done 5 or 6, and then some reason, they're not. Then I gotta set up a new link. But I try to send them out because it won't let me send 150 out. You're only allowed to send like it's weird. Like it just because I think what it is I do them one by one. So this morning about 8:30, you guys probably all got them, and I was doing them manually. That's when I sent it directly to you. So I'm trying to get everybody to just kind of do it off invitations and events. I mean, it's going to change with Reindeer in a month anyway, because Reindeer will actually be able to set up by second phase, which will be January, February. We'll actually be able to set up messaging there, and everybody will get messages on there. It's just, and then you can set up if you wanted to go to your other messenger, your, whatever you want to do. You have the choice, or you don't have to go to any of it. What I'm trying to do is, you decide the flexibility. You decide what you want to have. If you still, obviously, like I said, because some people ask us, "Are you guys leaving or do anything?" Because Kevin said something like that. No, we're actually nothing's changing here on Facebook. I can't, this group's gonna actually still be the associates group and still be like almost like an advisory board. And most people have been here, I mean, a year and a half. Some people 4 years. So we want to make sure that everybody here is still, and then that way also when we talk about revenue sharing and reports and things, we don't want to get too much into the people that are subscribers, because it's like I don't want to because what I don't want to do is open the can, hey, later on are you guys gonna revenue share again? We're never going to offer to anybody outside of who's in right now. People can join off the street right now, but once everybody's upgraded or everybody's done that, then we're not offering that ever again, because we want to make sure it's exclusive to the people that have been here and doing, helped us build it. So that's pretty cool. I'm checking on Chad, see if he's joining us real quick. Yeah. I'm sending a text message to him real quick. So yeah, so just make sure you guys know I always post when you guys see me the morning of. and I post the Zoom link, then you'll probably see a direct link coming to you. So if you guys don't see, it'll come in invitations in events, and it'll also be posted in the group. And then I usually do it at that time. So if you knowingly know that you're not seeing it in the events or you're not getting invitations, let me know. I think some people may, and obviously I do it too. I don't like getting a lot of notifications because I'm in so many other groups. Like I don't need to hear, there's a lot of other groups that I'm in that are even outside of real estate. I don't like getting a lot of notifications either. There's enough stuff going on. So I'd like to make sure you guys let me know what if your preferences are not, then let me know what your preferences are, like directly, like personally, like hit me up on Messenger and tell me what you prefer, if you're having any kind of issues with it. Because like I said, I try to customize everything as best I can. I just don't want to get like because I think after you get a 1 day suspension, they give you like a 3 day next, and then it's like 30 days. So that'd be a lot of stress to go through, and you have this kind of group, and you have to. So there also will be a separate reindeer group. I mean, Facebook account for reindeer specifically. It won't be run through because this is still run through my. I mean, I run all of everything still through my personal almost because I was doing all this stuff basically as a one-man show when I was just brokering. So I shouldn't be doing that too long, but I'm gonna have reindeer, and then everything here will stay the same. But I'll tell everybody to join reindeer because if something happens, like you guys know, Jim Ingersoll had almost 300,000 people in his group and deal makers, and then somebody went and complained about intellectual property. It wasn't even Jim or John or any of his people. It was somebody, just a person in the group complained about somebody else posting something, and Facebook shut his group down. They didn't even go that realize that it was a person in the group, and he could have just kicked them out themselves or whatever. So he lost his group of 300,000 people. There wasn't in his group now is because he built a second group that was kind of a backup, and he had a lot of the key people there. He had brought them in and stuff. So just want to make sure you guys know that once we in November, December, I'll have it'll be run separately from. There's going to be a separate. I mean, everything is going to be separated in the. There's going to be an office and computer and all that stuff. All the 23 thumb drives, everything I give you guys in files is all on a thumb drive as well. That's all going to be separated. So you guys just so you guys know that. But like I said, always give me feedback because I'm always willing to like try to make it better for somebody. It's all about the experience. And so making sure everybody has a group that they feel at home. It has to feel like it has to be. I think everybody likes it. I haven't had a single person ask for a refund in 4 years. So it's a pretty good deal. I think. Nobody's ever. I think the closest we came is Stan had one. You guys met Stan a couple weeks ago. Stan basically lost his wallet or something, and he had to get a new bank card, and the bank went and canceled everything, and PayPal got a thing about it, and they tried to they took $100, but Stan and I talked to them, and they fixed that because it had nothing to do with us. It's just his bank went and just canceled everything, and he had just done the transaction. So that Stan upgraded a couple weeks ago, so it's pretty. He's got a lot of good stuff going on. If you guys ever talk to him too, he's also got Legal Shield. He does some other things. And I will if you guys let me know, I just want to make sure it's like real estate or some kind of, it's actually going to be a benefit. If you guys have something that you want to promote, we'll allow it. I just like to make sure that it's not, because you guys know I talk about my hot sauce and stuff like that. But if you guys have anything that's your, side hustle or something like that, and Reindeer will have a marketplace where people can, post that. I mean, hopefully it doesn't get bad when they have like Girl Scout cookies and stuff, because I always feel bad when I'm like, I go to the grocery store and they're like, "Hey, we go Girl Scout cookies." It's like I have nieces. I've already trust me. I would get, I don't have. We used to get them when I was the fire department and stuff. We used to buy a ton of them because they'd come by the fire station. You want to buy Girl Scout? Shit, we have 100, 200 boxes sitting there for the whole year. It's like, yeah, they can only eat so many Thin Mints. But yeah, so anybody else really got anything, Bill? I mean, you and Zeke here, you guys, you said that you guys are working on that deal or something still, right? Together. Bill's here. Oh, and then yeah, Matt, what do you want to set something up on a Zoom or something where you can talk to people about government contracting more in depth?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, just get with me like Messenger or something. We'll try to plan that out.
Sorry about that, guys.
No problem. I'm just checking to see if you guys are when you guys on that deal or whatever, you and Zeke are obviously talking. So, but that's
Yeah, I messaged him and let him know that
yeah,
I
you
ended
guys
up
are both
passing on it.
okay. Then we'll try to get some other stuff going on that. Zeke, if you want to give me information too on that, we'll try to reach out to everybody else in the group. I know you want to definitely, that'd be, might be, obviously a lot of people don't know Grand Junction's a pretty nice area still. I mean, some of it, I think around Mesa. Um, the last couple of times I've been there, it's pretty cool. Obviously, if I'm going that direction, I'm usually going to probably stay in Glenwood or something. I do want to go to Palisade at some point, like next year when the peaches are harvested, so I can actually go get them like right off the tree. That'd be kind of cool. I did that with
Course.
Yeah, I did that with Rocky Ford cantaloupe one year. That was like, holy crap, that was like the best cantaloupe ever right out of the field. It
The
was like
other
when I was, yeah,
the other thing you want to get is the Olathe sweet corn.
yeah, I've heard of it. That's good too. Yeah, that's good. And
Heaven.
well, because when I was the county fire chief in Las Cruces, guess what? I had 45 miles north of me in my county, Hatch,
What kind
uh,
of patch?
Hatch, Hatch
Oh,
chilies.
oh,
Hatch was in my county. And
mm.
I didn't have Hatch had their own separate fire department because they have enough money to do it. But I used to get a lot because they had a lot of other agricultural people, obviously, in the county, and they used to load me up all the time. Here's a box of this. I'm like, can I take this? Because I always had to look at what you could get like $50 as a gift before you have to report it to the county finance office. So that's
Right.
always checking, like, how much is this worth? Because I get boxes and boxes of like agri, pecans. The Stallman Farms has 100,000 pecan trees or whatever they have. That was also the best. The best part of the county was like 110 degrees, and I'd hit the 2-lane road right through the pecan orchard, and it would cool down like 20 degrees. I'd roll my windows down on my apartment car, and I'd be like, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna sham down here, and not tell the county manager where I'm at for like 3 or 4 hours.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, 911 knows where I'm at because I'm the fire chief. But yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. So anybody have any questions about reindeer? Anything you guys want to put input on, or if you got any questions about it, like how things work and stuff? A lot of it's going to happen really fast, and it's going to happen this month and next month. So I just want to make sure everybody's ready. It's going to be pretty awesome. Like I said, I've been working on it for 4 years. Matt can attest to that. We used to have we were working on this like all the way back in 2019. Started working on what was going to be PMA University, but it was going to be a lot more expensive. You guys go into the PM University and stuff in the files tab, you can download and see it was going to be a lot pricier. This worked out great, and having LearnDash, having Danny, having Agents Gather, we're going to be able to do it for $99 a month. And I think when people come on and they see like there's not just one giver they're paying 1,500, they're getting a whole bunch of people for $99, and those people will get compensated. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it's multiplication and it's numbers, and it's like going to Walmart. I mean, Walmart buys everything on volume. Just imagine if you can then have people contributing on volume. There's going to be that little bit. That's why we said we've always wanted to share revenue, and I think it's actually in some of the documents that Chris Galicki did. Now, Chris isn't going to be with us. He was going to be on because he was going to be running that almost like you'd tune into like a news program like Fox or CNN. Like he was going to have this where it's going to be like hosted, look like a news desk, and he was going to be him and a couple of people like would be like running through all the programs and all the training. He was going to do a lot of it and host it. Now we're just going to have guides do it, people from the group committee leaders. And I'm going to put all the videos together. I have enough content to do 500 videos. It's going to take me most of the year to get them all done, most of next year too, to get them all up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take like the key ones and put those up first. And then I'm going to build that second layer, that third layer, and then add in then build it out. So the 100 levels will all be done this year into about February, and then I'll start with the second and third. It's kind of like going to college. You got the 100 levels, the 200 levels, 300 level courses. So those other ones will be back. And then if you guys want to be guides and you want to be putting your own programs together and communities and stuff like that, then you can start doing your own. There'll be some requirements because of what LearnDash will allow you to. Like if you can do a video that will go into WordPress where you just press upload your video, and you push a button, it uploads, it's fine. Zoom does that, a few other things. That OpenAI has a, which does ChatGPT, has a program that does that as well. Some of the things I've been talking about are going to be more or less for promoting it, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. They won't be specifically on the Ranger platform, but they'll be used out there to promote it and do a lot of cool stuff just to get people excited to go and try it out. And then we're gonna have an so people will get on for the first time. They'll have an orientation, like a 5-minute welcome, and they'll do about a 10-minute orientation video that's separate, depending on if they're a lender or if they're going to be like a borrower or somebody. They'll have a second video, and then they have to watch that before they can actually get into any of the communities. That's where they would start having access to everything and being able to post deals or being able to lend money. They're gonna have to go through that kind of a process. It's like having a gate. We won't have a gatekeeper there, so everybody's kind of feels like everybody's. You guys have seen Clear to Fly when I posted that. It's like the whole thing is reindeer flying, but when you're clear to fly, then you're good. Then it should be good to go. You know, and then we're gonna have a little bit of Overwatch, and Overwatch is a term obviously for the military. You know, when they provide like they have like observers, or actually a lot of times now they use snipers. They don't go out there and to shoot people. They actually go out and watch over soldiers, and they do that. They did that a lot in Iraq. They'd get up on buildings. You guys see all the movies. The snipers are always like on the high ground, and so that's Overwatch. So we're gonna have some Overwatch. We're gonna be able to watch and observe, making sure that people are because this group, man, people, and I don't care if they pay $99 if they come in and do something wrong. It's like we'll kick them out, you know, and we have better control over that with with the billing and the the payment processing. You know, if somebody we can go and say, hey, you know, we're gonna have a committee. So nobody's gonna just get booted. It's gonna have to go through a committee and basically, hey, why'd you do this or whatever. You know, they get a fair opportunity. We'll document it. That one's gonna show up. They can say, hey, they had a chance to come in and explain it. Just so you guys know. I mean, I hate getting into that, but just so you guys know, everything's. The good thing is, I think we've been pretty fortunate, and I've been pretty fortunate that I haven't had, you know, things happen, deals go bad, deals go south, but you know, unfortunately, but if it's different if it's just going south because it turned out to be a bad deal or bad numbers or something like that. If it's just an unfortunate thing that happens sometimes. But if it's intentional or somebody's doing something out there nefarious, we want to get a handle on it pretty quick and make sure, you know, even before it happens, like, hey, you know, if you guys see something or, you know, it's like that. If you see it, report it. So I don't know if Chad's going to join us or not, but he posted that. You guys can see what he posted earlier. He may have got some back to me. I just got a message. I got a lot of people messaging me. Let me see if I can get him on. I might have to send him a direct. But like you guys say, anytime you guys get questions and stuff, you make sure you guys let me know and I can see what I'm trying to get. I'm trying to make sure I get. Oh, Kevin's here. I didn't even know Kevin was on. Okay, sorry guys, I'm trying to get Chad on because he's telling me he's trying to log in. Sorry, I'm just gonna try to get him on real quick.
Yeah, I'm here finally.
Oh, how's that drive? That 3-hour drive?
Well, it seemed like it. Trying to get around this town anymore is getting to be a pain. And then all this stuff I've had to do to catch up because I wasn't available all day.
Okay, try to get him. Okay, give me 1 second. Do you want to update him on your stuff with the reindeer? Because I've already gone through what I've been talking about.
Well, I mean, we're still trying to get the schedule down as far as specifics, but we're still trying to get. I still think we'll probably be up and running, you know, 3rd or 4th week of this month. Logistically speaking, that's basically where we're at. You've pretty much got yourself content wise out ahead enough that now we could kind of shift to getting in the mechanical part done. And I'm going to get with Dan probably tomorrow and see where he's at with everything. But it shouldn't take us more than 2 or 3 days, which is what I was talking about before. I'll be up there for 3 days. to get everything that we need to get done mechanically speaking on it. And then hopefully there'll be a week there where you guys will be able to do a little field testing, make sure we work all the bugs out, get everything transferred over. And then once that's done, then we'll be able to get together with all the folks that have verified revenue share, get the certificates put together and sent out, along with all the credentials and everything that you're going to need to be able to get in and access everything. So I don't know why we should be good to go and start taking people in by the 1st of October. I think that's still a go at this point. Lord willing, and there's nothing else that doesn't mess up. These funerals are getting to be a real drag.
Yeah, I've got one to go to this week too.
So, well, now I got yet another estate I got to deal with. I'm like, where did that come from? I just got
Chad's actually on, so he's trying to get him to joining now. So you guys heard Kevin talk about certificates. So you guys saw me post that last week. So the goal is once everybody's onboarded, we're going to try to provide everybody a certificate. Just saying, hey, you're revenue sharing. It's not a stock certificate or ownership or anything.
No, it is though. It's a legal representation, because if for some reason this were to change hands, because this is going to be a perpetual deal here, it shows that you actually have a vested interest. And even though there's no real stock to it or anything else, you have a vested interest in the income that's generated off of it. So, if you were doing a 501c3, you got one thing. If you're doing a 506c fundraise, they have what's called, they're like certificates, basically the same thing. And it shows that you have an interest in the company, you've invested in it and so forth and so on. And this is basically our form of that, even though it's not really required. We feel that it's probably best that we do that. In case something were to happen to us, this thing is going to keep going on. You still need to have that with
and to clarify, verified, meaning anybody that came in at 399 is already in. It's the people that came in at 100 that were doing the tryouts out. They have until December to make a decision if they want to upgrade. They can walk away. They can upgrade for 299 to be equal, because that way nobody's ever. We did that because we were having a lot of people that I needed to get in that were lenders and stuff. So it was like, to make it easy on some of them that were going to come in and lend money, we had to make sure they, give them some kind of incentive and stuff to do that. And there's 11 people right now. There's 5 spots that are open because 125. So when you guys go look at the numbers, hey Chad, what's up? So I'll introduce you in a second. So we get 125 people. So there's not everybody in the group is like Kevin, Jesse, myself, Danny, Paul Heggie, Zishan. There's like a lot of people are like more support people, the people in life changing stuff like that. We're basically one revenue share per entity. So husband and wife would be one entity. So that's why you see more people. And so 125 people will share in that revenue. And like I said, once we hit 100 subscriptions, Paul Heggie is going to come on and he's going to run. Basically, he's going to be responsible. He'll get the money. He'll actually send it to everybody. Like I said, it's not very sexy at first. 100 subscriptions is $24 a month. The goal is to get in. Yeah, Bill, you're in. Everybody that's on here right now is in.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Everybody that has a revenue share spot will end up getting these certificates.
Basically, so, I'm talking to these people every day that are eligible in the group. If I'm not talking about it in the email, you're in.
Yeah, no, this is the content.
Because I'm trying to get everybody yeah. So you're all in. Everybody that's on it right now is in. They know who they are because I talked to them, and a few of them are like making decisions and stuff. And everybody said they're upgrading. They just don't. What'll happen is they'll still have lifetime, just like all you guys do, but they won't have revenue share unless we have it. We might have a few people. Yeah.
Specifically only for the revenue share people.
Yeah. So there'll be people that still have lifetime, but they won't, and if there's spots eventually open, then it would go to those people first. They've paid the same amount as everybody else at that point. So otherwise they have to walk away or become a subscriber at $99 a month. So realistically at $299, it's like 3 months of being a subscriber, and they would have been, got it. You guys never have to pay a penny again unless we do like some big, like I posted that MPLA stuff. If we ever do something like that, like an event, we have like a lot of expenses, and then it'd be like $500 or whatever.
We're still going to get a reduced. Yeah, the lifetime members are still going to get a reduced access to that. Plus, more access to more stuff at the events than most other people would have. So
Yeah.
I happen to have Leonard Rosen's personal phone number, so there may be a little wheeling and dealing
Well, I'm
behind the
talking about
scenes.
if we do our own. Yeah, if we do our own, don't
No,
assume that it's MP. We're talking about
I
MPLA.
might be able to do something with him where we might be able to get a little some backroom deal going on behind the scenes that these MPL
All right.
don't get it past me. Don't
All right,
even
well,
think about daring me to do that. Okay.
So let me
It
real
is a
quick.
possibility.
Okay, Kevin, let me introduce Chad real quick since he's on. We're able to get trying to get you on in the last 15 minutes. So, guys, Chad's been with us for a little while now, and this I think is this your first time on or your second?
Yeah, this is my first time on the Zoom.
Oh, okay, cool, awesome. So
Well,
I know you've been around for a while. So let's introduce what you are and who you are and what that deal you posted today. If you want to give out some information, obviously we have 150 people, and I do send the video when I post the video in the morning. We get about 20 to 25 watch hours per video, so we know
Okay.
people are watching. And
Uh,
try to get, what's your deal?
Well, my name's Chad. Nice to meet y'all. I'm in the Memphis, Tennessee market. I'm a general contractor here. We do a lot of more higher end kitchen, bath remodels, outdoor patios and kitchens. But we can do, rental properties and stuff like this. So, that deal that I posted is just one that came across to me, or I, and I did it with a partner, and then we went ahead and we rehabbed it, and we put the tenant in it, and now we're trying to sell it off. So uh Memphis is hard to to get them with a lot of spread, especially at that price point, just because it's so competitive here. But the rental market is so strong here, and even through the ups and the downs of the real estate market, everything here pretty well stays pretty level. So that's a little bit about me. But I mean, if somebody was interested in deals like that, then I could provide quite a few of them for sure.
And I know a
how's
little bit about.
how's the short-term rental situation down there? Up here in KC, they've managed to screw that all up.
Well, it hasn't really been screwed up here. It's just hard to find the people that you can trust to make it happen. I mean, I've got a guy right now that's trying to offload 4 properties that he paid cash for about 4 years ago. Has had them as Airbnbs. They've done pretty good. Stayed with less than less than half a year vacancy. So they've generated income. But then a couple months ago, he just up in the person that was taking care of all that and handling the day to day for him here. That person just stopped doing it or moved. I don't know exactly what happened, but he's had trouble finding somebody to come in and do that. And now the houses are just sitting. So if you do them in the right areas in Memphis, yes, there's a lot of hospitals. Obviously, we have St. Jude here, so there's a lot of people coming. As far as that, so it's pretty strong. It's just the key to that is finding the right person to manage it, to be able to get the people in and out, make sure that the cleaning and stuff and yard maintenance and all that's being taken care of.
And that's good because when I saw you post that, I wanted to clarify that on that. And that's a good thing. And Memphis is definitely a difficult market for just like you're
Well,
saying.
what I'm thinking about here is with our program and our platform, and then you have agents gather on the side. What if we have a national reach with different people?
Sure.
So I don't know why it would be that difficult to find some people that do that kind of work that would be interested in expanding in there if we already have a footprint there that needs to be addressed. And we might be able to look for that through this network.
Okay.
This is another opportunity that I could see that would work out.
Yeah.
And then we could because you could put ads out, you could do all kinds of stuff, and you could find somebody that would be interested in doing that, get them set up. They would be inside, with knowing what the heck's going on instead of something from outside or that don't really understand what's going on.
Sure.
and would probably have a better interest in it than just somebody there locally,
Yeah. And
locally
I
that doesn't
definitely,
report to them.
yeah, and probably, definitely get your account set up at Agents Gather since it's free. And
Okay.
I'll send you a link. And then once you're in there, let me know. And Danny will upgrade you to premium for life because it says premium. That's where Reindeer is going to be built off through LearnDash. Danny's going to build that with us. So he has an MLS, and he's also really good. He'll help you. He'll help everybody in our program kind of like how to hashtag and how to do things and how to set up some where you can actually get on Google and you could be like the guy in Memphis who does what you do, and people are looking for properties. There's some good opportunity there. So do that. And I'll give you the information on a messenger as soon as we're off tonight, so you can
Okay.
do that. It's all free. It's part of what we're doing.
Sure.
And you got to be on there probably before we all migrate. Everybody has to be on there to migrate over to Reindeer. And I was saying earlier before you came on that nothing's changed on Facebook as far as us still doing our Zooms, and we're still going to do some coordination. They'll still be the same posting, but Reindeer is going to be like it's something we've been working on for 4 or 5 years that we're finally putting in place. In the next 2 or 3 weeks. And I was also going to suggest because I do have a little bit of knowledge from some Memphis real estate. Because my brother used to be stationed in Millington and
Sure.
he was actually when he was a Marine Corps, he worked at the Marine Corps finance place there, and when he was stationed there, and it was like he had a couple rental properties back then when he was like a lieutenant, and he retired as a colonel. But so I kind of remember going to Millington and Memphis and stuff when he was there a couple of times. I drove through on a, so I kind of know it's a difficult market, but it's still a great city. I remember going over that bridge into Memphis. That was kind of cool coming from I think Arkansas.
Yeah,
Uh,
now the Pyramids Bass Pro, so it's even different. So, but yeah, there's I mean, even on the long term rentals, there's just a lot of manufacturing in Memphis. There's big Nike warehouses, there's big Amazon warehouses. Elon Musk is just now came in and bought and is doing his supercomputer there. Ford's doing a battery factory not far from outside. So, as far as stable tenants and rental, it can be a good market if you buy in the right areas.
Another person to talk to sell it might even be Willie and Cameron because they got that Midwest Monster program,
I've
and they may
spoken
have
to
you.
I've spoken to Cameron in the past, just him looking for workers and stuff. But some of the stuff that they're buying is in a zip code that's kind of what I consider a war zone down here. So
Yeah,
I
I know.
try
Yeah,
to stay out of there. But yeah, I have spoken with Cameron in the past about different things.
okay, that's just an idea. Yeah, because I mean those
Sure.
guys are definitely growing, and Cameron's been he's been with us for 4 years. So I've seen that guy. He didn't even have that 4 years ago. He just was starting and young guy, man. I don't think he's even 30 yet
Okay.
for what he's doing. So yeah, so I just mentioned that because I know I know they're doing a lot of stuff. They're growing a lot. We have a lot of people that have got some rental properties through them in our program. So, which is
Yeah, I've
great.
seen that posted.
Yeah. So I'm really happy about that. That helps a lot. Everything in our group is going really well. I mean, I think a lot of people come in and they're like, how to use it. And we have that thing about with the family offices and hedge funds. I was just talking about that earlier. I just wanted to separate that. Just everybody can have them, everybody can have access to it, but I want to make sure people know how to use them so they use them, the right way.
Very good.
Nobody's hitting up MIT's endowment fund for a flip fund, to finance their revenue. You
Yeah.
know, I want to make sure everybody knows about it. That's why I kind of did that. I wanted to make sure everybody's like, we'll let everybody know that group who wants to get in, but they got to kind of go through this is how you don't go to, so and so to ask for, they're not even going to talk to you unless you're doing millions of dollars.
Sure.
So I just want to clarify that because I remember you when you hit me up about that. Like I wanted to just why I separated that just to make sure, we got some separation going. I got the EMD and gap. But yeah, dude, everything I think that's a great property in that case. So like I said, and I tell everybody once you have a deal is to come on the Zooms like right around the deal, like wait when you're getting ready to put your offer in, start coming on the Zooms and start posting in the group and then tag me. And then tag me and then I can kind of start directing traffic towards you. Sometimes we have enough people now where I don't exactly remember off the top of my head when people who there's people in the group that have been there for a couple of years. And I want to make sure, sometimes they're not as active, but they're still out there active. And
Yeah.
if not, obviously it's a little different. And obviously on Reindeer, there's a lot of stuff going on in Reindeer. So I'm glad you're here because I try to get everybody that just hasn't been here and try to make sure they get on and welcome. Because it's, once you get to meet people, I don't think there's no other group in real estate where they really do this what we're doing that I've found. If there is,
Agree.
yeah, where people can actually get to know each other, and I mean, it's a great. People support each other and all that, and everybody pulls for each other on here, which is really great. Yeah, so I'm kind of happy with that. Let's see if anybody has anything to add on that. So, cool. Anybody have any questions about Memphis or what the real estate market is like there? That's a pretty cool area. I mean, you got some pretty good. I mean, how close do you get to like the other cities in like Nashville, Knoxville? Do you do anything out there, or do you know anybody?
Yeah, I mean, we have gone to Nashville and do stuff. I mean, I've got people in Nashville that I work with day in and day out. A lot of my buddies went to college up there and never came, never came back, and a lot of them are in the same field, so we kind of work off of each other. So yeah, I've definitely got some contacts in
Yeah, went
Nashville
to
and that area.
I went to Nashville once. It's a pretty cool town. I
Yeah,
went there to
it's a lot
stayed at the
Nashville.
gate. Yeah, I stayed at the Gaylord.
Yeah,
I
I
think,
did too.
yeah, but I was selling ambulances when I was selling fire trucks. I went to an ambulance show there. Ironically, the Army was there doing some kind of aviation thing, and they actually had helicopters inside the convention center. I was like, hopefully, don't think they flew them in there, but it was good enough. They were helicopters in in the convention floor. We had ambulances in the other part of the convention center.
And I was back in 2004, I was there for a Legion convention.
Yeah, so I like Nashville. I remember going and asking if there's anywhere I could hear some country music in this town, just to be a smart ass.
It's not
Uh,
hard to find up there for
I,
sure.
I know, but it was like, because I was selling fire trucks, and we also went to Indianapolis, and they do the big fire like instructors conference where all the chiefs go, and it's like the biggest fire service show. It is in Indianapolis, and I remember one of the guys we'd go and like talk crap in Indianapolis out of the city. We'd always like find a way to get in some kind of trouble. Going to those shows, like that was fun. Yeah, man. So that's a good deal. So definitely, let's try to get it into play for you.
All right, I
Now
appreciate it.
yeah, now that we know that, I mean, it would be a good thing, I think, for what Kevin was saying, or even trying to do like some kind of, somebody could do a short-term rental, or somebody could do something like that, or, even I think we have Anita. I haven't seen her in a couple of weeks. She hasn't been on. She's been busy, but she does stuff for nursing, traveling nurses, and that's a pretty good thing too, because a lot of hospitals,
Sure.
that's a good,
I've actually got another property that's a nicer property that I've just bought myself that I've been kind of weighing what to, things on flips and sales around here. Things have kind of gotten a little stagnant, just with everything that's going on with rates and stuff, and really all this stuff that's going on with the MAR lawsuit and or the National Area Association lawsuit. So there's a lot of confusion with realtors down here right this second. But yeah, I mean, I'd be interested in talking to her about that one because we've actually thought that one's like a 3,800 square foot house
yeah,
for
she's
nice
in
area.
St. Louis and does stuff in Springfield. So, but I mean, that's obviously not two states over, but not
Springfield,
too bad.
Missouri.
Yeah, she does a lot of stuff in Springfield and
In
St. Louis.
Springfield. Okay. Yeah, my parents retired and they live in Branson, right outside of
That's a good
Springfield.
area to live,
Yeah.
obviously. No, and those whole things in those states is kind of a lot of the stuff seems to be similar,
Sure.
which is interesting, how that is. But like, if you guys always hear me making the jokes about Sheboygan, I love small towns. So I always try to find like Newburgh, New York and Sheboygan, Wisconsin. And because it's like people don't talk about them. Well, what are the real estate markets like? It's like, small towns are what drives the country. I think a lot of people, so I'm really happy with that, man. Also, I was gonna like I throw out earlier, before you got on was, if you look at files tab, obviously I have stuff on there as I've saved them, and I've actually got more stuff than I need than I have and than I've put on there. So I'm gonna put a lot more stuff onto the Reindeer platform. It'll be categorized. So if you're looking for resources for flips, they'll all be in one place. If you're looking for multifamily, they'll all be in one place at that point, plus explainer videos. But if in the meantime, if you go through files or something like that and you you're looking for a particular analyzer for something you're doing. Like,
Yeah, I've actually spent some time in there and have them downloaded on my computer, and I've
yeah,
actually used a few of them. So yeah, even though I haven't been here, I have used some of
no,
their.
no, and everybody, the one thing is Facebook doesn't tell me who's downloaded what and what. So it's like always I always have to make sure those resources when I put them in there, they belong to the group. I want everybody to use them as they want. And if there's things, I always tell people though, the ones that are, if you see, because I just lately, while I'm trying to get everything ramped up on the new platform, I'm not really going to take the time to update. I'm just telling you in the existing files tab, anything that's like, if you see like two or three of the same thing, the one
Sure.
that's at the top has been revised. It's the newer, fresher.
Okay.
Sometimes you might see stuff lower. I mean,
Yeah,
I put a
I
few
did
things.
see there's a couple things that were the same in there.
Yeah, yeah, that's just because I update them and things, and we have some other stuff like Kevin and Jesse and I were working on Blue Sky a few years ago. I put that to show people how big it can go because we were building with a couple of other partners. We were building a 112-story building in Denver, which would be under, if it wasn't for COVID, one of our partners had a $550 million, a commitment from a sovereign wealth fund to build it. So I threw a lot of stuff in there because people want to go and see what kind of pro forma you need to build a building that's going to be worth $1.5 billion in 10 years after construction. Kind of cool. So we kind of throw because people want to dream and dream big, and we also have a lot of for Pride Money University, which is where Reindeer came from. And Matt's been with us. He's on it now. Matt's been with us for 5 years. So he just took a class in government contracting, which is kind of a whole different world. Hey, Bill. Cool. Yeah, we'll definitely be in touch on that. And then I'll send you Ari's information. I'll connect you with Ari tonight. Cool. So yeah, so we're pretty informal. I like that property. I'll make sure let's get that done for you. Let's find somebody in the group to get on it for you. There's a lot of people in the group that can there's a lot of firepower. I mean, there's just so many people that do different things that were, I used to when we first started, I was just brokering single family and some 1 to 4 multifamily. That's when I started 8 years ago. So everything in the meantime, I've either picked up or done since then just on my own. Because I took a 40-hour class 8 years ago from Lee Arnold on how to be a private money broker. So it's a lot different. It's a lot different. He talks to me now like I'm a competitor because I'm doing stuff on a much bigger level than a lot of the people that take that course. But yeah, so a lot of good stuff going on. So definitely appreciate you being able to come on finally.
Definitely.
Yeah, and like I said, we do these Mondays and Thursdays, so we just try to make sure everybody feels welcome. Like we're very informal, so people come, oh, I can't be on till I just tell people usually if it's 45 minutes or later, just check with me because if we finish in an hour, I don't want to. I've had people like, "Hey, you done?" And it's like, "Yeah, we finished like 10 minutes ago."
Sure.
Sometimes, and it's good if we have 100 people here, we'll spend 4 hours here. We've had nights where we've had 30 people, and we have times we have like two. It just depends on what people got going on, and we're formal. Yeah. So cool. All right. So pretty much anybody else got anything? Cool. Well, guys, I'm gonna be in touch. Let me wrap up and I'll be in touch with that and I'll catch you up with you on that chat in a minute on your property.
That'll work. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Okay, guys.
All right.
All right.
Have a good
Cool.
night.
Bye.